Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with the weekly analysis. Today is Monday, the 4th of October 2021. Time is 13:14 here in the UK. You are looking at a DXY daily chart. Today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups across all the pairs listed to the right here. We're going to be talking a bit about stocks, a bit about DXY, a bit about crypto, but just a bit. We're not actually trading them, just going to talk about the impact they might have on the overall market. We'll start things off with DXY. DXY is just a great way to visualize the strength of the US dollar. Personally, I don't really use it that much. I use a currency strength tool that I programmed, but for the purposes of this analysis, it's pretty good to look at this because we get a nice little chart and it's easy to see and easy to visualize. Now, in the members only analysis that I did, I believe on Thursday last week, I talked about a potential turnaround here on DXY. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that I somehow prophetically saw this coming. I gave two possible scenarios. I said that it could just break out and go crazy, or it could turn around. So I was looking at the two possible scenarios and the effects that, or what we would see on the currency charts, on AUD USD, on USD Jpy, if either of those two scenarios happened. So I was looking at AUD USD, which is a short that we're in. It's a long-term short. I'm planning on holding this one the rest of the year, so I don't really mind this temporary turnaround here. But I was looking at DXY saying that if it continues to move up, that AUD USD short is going to go down real fast. But I gave an alternate scenario saying if DXY does turn around here, which is what ended up happening, if DXY does turn around here at this resistance area, then the opposite is true. Then, well, not the opposite is true, sorry, but then we're going to see some USD weakness, and pairs like USD Jpy might turn around at their resistance areas. So I gave this potential short as a scenario. Unfortunately, this short just happened way too fast for me. I'm mostly focused on the daily chart. This short ended up triggering on the 12-hour, 8-hour chart. So I completely missed it. I'm not in this one. It kind of sucks when you see something, you see a potential setup coming and you want to get in, but then it turns around too quick. But, you know, it is what it is. That's how I trade. I mostly focus on the daily, but my strategy is flexible. So I know some of you caught this one on the 12-hour and the 8-hour charts and were able to get in short here. Now this short was a pretty decent one. I'll give you just a kind of breakdown of how I would play it had I gotten in, even though I'm not in. I'll give you an idea of how I'd play it. So basically, depending on your entry and your stop loss, you could be, just shy. It might have been just shy of your 2R target. Maybe it was 1.5R if you had a super wide stop loss. If you had a tight stop loss, it could have been already at 2.5R, so you might have hit your target. I know a lot of you just closed this one out on the weekend anyway because there was just no real reason to hold it over the weekend. But then I know some of you held on to it. So if you're still holding on, I don't really see much of a reason to jump out right now. The DXY is looking very weak right now. It's looking very, very weak. And I do potentially see it dropping back down a little bit further than this support area here. It could drop down as far as... Oops. Could drop down as far as this area. Oh, why am I doing it that way? Let's do it this way. As far as this area here, the 93.30. So I believe that DXY still has some room to go down. And if it does go down, that trade could play out very nicely for you. So if you haven't hit target, I'd say hold on to it. Just let it run a little bit longer. It does have some potential. But do keep in mind that DXY could, instead of reaching this area here, it could just hit here and shoot up. So keep an eye open on what dollar strength is doing to gauge whether you should close out this position. If you're in profit, I would definitely move my stop loss into break even at the very least, but probably into profit if I were you. So that's how I would play that one. Looking at AUD/USD real quick, how am I playing this one? Look, I'm not really worried about this turnaround. DXY, like I said, going down. If we look at gold, gold is starting to go down. It looks like it might drop this week. You know, just looking at some basic technicals, it is on resistance, so moving down, hit resistance, indecision forming, so kind of a classic continuation there. Nothing I'm really interested in trading, but it is a continuation potential there. Nice little bearish trend there. So gold looks bearish. DXY temporarily looks bearish. What does that mean? That means that we're going from risk off to risk on. Risk off basically means that risk is coming off the market. So stocks, investors are pulling money out of stocks. And when you pull money out of stocks, the US dollar climbs. Money sometimes goes into gold because it's a safe haven, it climbs. CHF, another safe haven, JPY, another safe haven, they climb. But we're going to risk on, in my opinion, which is why the US dollar is falling now, which is why gold is falling. And which is very good for stocks, which is very good for crypto. SPX had a nice little turnaround last week. So it could very well climb from here. It could climb back up. Well, you know, probably not all the way back up to its highs, but it could climb significantly from here. A big part of this was the US government shutdown being averted. A lot of the fall in the stock market was because of the pending shutdown, which is just generally speaking bad for the markets. But the US government shutdown was averted, as far as I know. I need to triple check all of that, but as far as I know, it was averted, and that could be a major reason for the turnaround that we might see in the SPX, which I'm not trading, but you know, just something to keep an eye out on, and why the US dollar is dropping a bit while we move from risk off back to risk on. So, you know, just a few ideas there. Look, I'm not an expert on all this kind of economic stuff. This is just my take on it. Take it with a grain of salt. Do your own research on that kind of stuff. Definitely. I'm good with Forex. This other stuff, I'm a very interested amateur. So take it with a grain of salt. Right. What does this all mean for the markets, though? What does this all mean for the currency markets, for crypto, which is what we're here to talk about? It means that AUD/USD is pulling back. But like I said, this is a long-term position. I'm planning to hold this till the end of the year, probably. So that pullback doesn't really bother me. In fact, if we get all the way back up to this resistance area, I might add on to this position. Honestly, I might add on to this position even before it hits that resistance area. When I say add on, I might short more. So this isn't a kind of normal trade that I would take. It's not the kind of trade I discuss in the course. It's the kind of trade I will eventually discuss in the course, but it's a different style of trade. It's a long-term position, and I want to build up that position on these pullbacks because overall I am bearish on AUD/USD. Just at the moment, it is recovering a bit. Right, so we talked about AUD/USD and USD JPY. Let's see if we can't find any new setups for this week, guys. To kick off the week, I am thinking we might see a weak US dollar. I'll take a look at EuroCAD, potential long here. It's a risky one, but I'll take a look at this as a potential long. come back to that when we do the summary at the end of the analysis. That should be in potentials. Euro New Zealand. New Zealand is weak right now. If you take a look at AUD New Zealand, the sharp rise in AUD New Zealand, AUD overall pretty weak, but the fact that it went up against New Zealand suggests that the New Zealand dollar is actually very weak. Although New Zealand dollar is climbing against the US dollar too. Anyway, let's not get too wrapped up in that. What we were looking at, Euro New Zealand. I might look at a potential long here. It's a bit of a risky one, but I'll consider it. Now, Euro USD though. This one, I believe I shared this one towards the end of last week too, didn't I? In the members only analysis. Maybe not. I might be confusing things. It's possible, but maybe not. But anyway, if you are long on Euro USD, which I imagine some of you might have gone long on this one, because it is, you know, a decent looking reversal setup from support. Let's talk about how to handle this one. I'm just going to assume some of you went long on this one. I'll put it on the open trades list, not that I'm personally in it, but just as a potential trade that some of you guys might be in. And if no one's in it, I'll just take it off the list. But I believe some of you probably entered because it was quite an obvious setup on the support area, a reversal setup. It's playing out quite well already. But where should the target be on this one? Now, a lot of you might be thinking target at the next resistance area, which, you know, makes sense. But you have to keep in mind that Euro USD is trending down. It's trending down pretty heavily. If you zoom out enough, you'll see that it's a pretty steep bearish trend that we're seeing on Euro USD. So what does that mean for this? Well, when something is in a bearish trend, you know, sometimes it will hit support and have a pretty big reversal, like you see here. That was a pretty big reversal. Had you jumped in long here, that would have been a nice gain up to there. But, you know, sometimes the opposite happens. It'll come down and it'll have a very weak reversal. A very weak reversal like you saw here. So that was weak. Didn't really reverse that much. So if you're long on Euro USD and you're expecting it to go all the way up to this resistance area, you know, I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying that the further Euro USD has to go up right now, the harder it is for it to go up because it's in a bearish trend. It's very, very possible that it's going to have a weak reversal because it's trending down. A weak reversal like that one. DXY could, like I said, stall out around here. Even though I think it's more likely to go down to here, it could stall out around here. It could turn around. And what would that mean for Euro USD? Well, it would mean that the dollar strength causes a weak reversal here. If it's a weak reversal, you might struggle to hit your target if your target's all the way up here. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you've already gotten into this trade, your target is your target. You can't really adjust it down without screwing with your risk to reward ratio. But I would adjust that stop loss up ASAP. You know, once you get into a bit of profit, adjust that stop loss up and, you know, protect yourself on this one because it could be a very weak reversal. But I wouldn't jump out of it, not by any means, just because I think DXY might stall out at support here or support there. It doesn't mean it will. It could go all the way down to this trend line. DXY does like following trend lines, or it could just go all the way down to 89 or something. I could be totally wrong about the dollar strength. Could just be some temporary strength. So, you know, I'm not saying jump out of this trade right now. I'm not saying that it's impossible for it to hit that resistance area. I'm just saying be mindful that it could be a weak reversal. So adjust your stop loss and play this one very safe. All right, so what have we got next? What else is there to discuss? Euro JPY is in a pretty nice range, guys. I like this range on Euro JPY. I think we actually talked about this one too in the members only analysis at the end of last week. This one hasn't really done anything, but I believe at the end of last week I said that if it goes down to this support area, I'd be looking for a long. So same, that hasn't changed since the end of last week. If it moves down to the support area, I'll be looking for a long. It hasn't moved down yet. It's already turned around, but it, let's see if it manages to move down to that support and we can play that range. GDP Jpy, I have to be honest, I'm tempted to go in short if it hits this resistance area. Yeah, okay. GBP USD, okay. So the same as last week, guys. I'm going to present you with a counter to what I've just said. So last week I talked about US dollar strength continuing, but then I said the counter to that would be it turning around, which is what ended up happening. And then I gave you USD Jpy as a good potential short if dollar strength or the dollar got weak. So here's a counter to that. If DXY, instead of dropping down to this support area, instead of dropping down further, if it finds support right here on top of there, if it stalls out here today, then a good trade might be GBP USD short. GBP USD is trending down. It is pushing back up to resistance, testing resistance, pretty strong resistance area. So if US dollar regains strength, it could really turn around here. US dollar going up would mean that GBP USD could in fact go down quite a bit. So I would watch that very closely. I'd watch DXY at this level. If it stalls out, I'll be looking for a GBP USD short. I think that would be a pretty decent move. So there is that one. Let's see if there's anything else. New Zealand USD looking pretty bullish right now, but keep in mind that this could easily change by the end of today. If we get some US dollar strength coming in, this candle could end up looking something more like this, which is just a pretty classic reversal candle, and that might present a good short opportunity there. This is similar to that GBP USD that I just pointed out and talked about. So yeah, that is it for... Actually, no, sorry, we haven't looked at USD CAD and USD CHF. Right, USD CAD, USD CHF. Okay, it's quite a busy week this week. USD CAD, USD CHF. These are also these are also countering the current swing towards the short side on DXY. The current bearish swing on DXY. If it stalls out, if it finds support here, we could very well see USD CAD finding support here and shooting up, and USD CHF similarly finding support here and shooting up. So those are other ones to watch. So busy start to the week, guys. Let's just do a quick summary. Also, SPX, I'm not trading it. It's just could go back up. You know what I'm seeing with SPX? You know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a potential range forming here. I'm not sure if SPX is going to continue to move up, continue this bullish trend, but I wouldn't be surprised if it forms a bit of a range here and we get some sideways movement. For crude, I'm short. My short is not looking fantastic right now because it is coming up, but I do believe that this is going to continue to move down. So I'm holding on to that short. You know what? I'll move crude. Or WTI. Let's just call it WTI up to the top here. Righto, guys. Let's do a quick summary. Euro CAD. There's, a few potential things that could happen here, but the most likely that I'm looking at right now is a bullish reversal here. We'll see if the euro can gain some strength. Euro New Zealand, similar sort of thing. Bullish reversal here. If euro can gain some strength and if US dollar weakness continues, it could be a good move, but these are both pretty risky setups. Gdp Jpy, what I'd like to see would be a push up to this resistance area for a potential short from resistance down to support here. That might be a good move for Gdp Jpy, Euro Jpy. Just waiting to play this range. If we get some weakness here on Euro Jpy, if it drops down to the support area, I'll be looking to get in long and just play that range. This could change, but that's what I'm seeing on Euro Jpy right now. GBP USD, if the US dollar gains some strength, if it stalls out at the support area that I marked, I'll be looking for a short on GBP USD. I'll be looking for a short on New Zealand USD. I'll be looking for a long on USD CAD and a long on USD CHF. So that is it for today's analysis, guys. It's a bit of a long analysis session, but I feel like we covered a lot of good stuff here. So also, I'm not going to trade it, but actually gold looks kind of bearish right now. It looks like it could definitely drop down from here. I'm not trading it. I don't really like trading gold. I'm so often wrong on my gold trades that I just don't find it to be worth it. So again, take this with a grain of salt. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing in the markets. I'm talking a little bit about the economics. It looks like some money might be flowing out of gold and it might be going down. Stocks might be going up. Gold, dollar might be going down for the next few days of this week. I believe that's a possibility. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening and watching my analysis. And I'll see you for next week's analysis. And if you're a member, I'll see you in the analysis that we're holding on either Wednesday or Thursday, the members only analysis. Thank you very much and bye.